Okay, don't smile like that. Looks weird. All right, guys. Today we are talking about how. Let's see.
What we're talking about is we got a call from somebody saying, "Whoa! Oh, you didn't know the police are looking for you?"
Yeah, we did. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we put up new videos. Hello, I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook, where you can eat better, spend less. We have a new hardcover with full color pictures and over 1,200 recipes and tips to help you save money on your grocery bill. Check it out at livingonadime.com. All right, guys, here's what happened. So, this video is to serve as a warning to others. So you don't make...
That's what you're good at, right?
That's what I excel at. No, seriously. We were threatened with serious financial, maybe jail time, who knows. I mean, our lives could have been completely ruined by this. I mean, really. They could have completely ruined our lives with this, and I am not exaggerating.
The thing is that there are things that might come your way that are, if they're not legit, you can make them go away easily. But this one, legally, there could have been some complication that could have come to us and been a problem.
Been really bad. So here's what happened. So last Friday...
Well, first of all, we sold... Okay, should we go ahead and say what it's about?
No, I was going to tell them what happened first, and then do the backstory.
Okay.
So what happened was last Friday, I got a call, from an insurance company, no idea who they were, and they said, yeah, about your car accident on October 4th.
I told her, don't answer any questions. This could be one of those scammers on the phone.
Yeah. And so I was like, what car accident? He said, the car accident that you had in your Saturn on October 4th. I said, I sold that car back in May. This is October. And I said, I sold that car back in May. That's not my car anymore. So the guy was like, well, nope, your name is on the title. That's what it's registered on the VIN number, and you're the responsible party. The car was in a rear end accident, and the driver fled the scene on foot, and you're responsible for all of the medical bills and all of the car damages and pain and suffering and all of that. I was like, okay. So then I wasn't feeling very good. So I handed the phone over to Mike to let him take over from there.
Well, and I usually deal with things like this anyway. But so I said, well, he said, well, you have to, I said, we sold the car in May, so we don't have it anymore. So unfortunately, whoever is responsible isn't us. And he said, well, it's still listed as yours in the records, and therefore, we can hold you responsible, blah, blah, blah. And he's right. Unless we can prove that we sold it. And we were both a little bit unhinged about it, because I was thinking, how would we prove that we sold it when they didn't register it, when they didn't change the title or anything?
So here's what happened. Back in May, I put our old beater $500, the car we've been bragging about that Mike was driving around that was worth $500. I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and I sold it for $500.
And we've done this with probably 30 cars.
All of our cars we've done this. Yeah.
So we've bought and sold cars if we need it, and then it's no longer working for us or whatever.
Yeah. So what happened was this guy and his girlfriend came to buy the car. And so he signed the title. I gave him the bill of sale because I thought he needed the bill of sale to sign the title over. And he gave me $500 in cash, and that was it.
Well, we did take the license plates off because we thought if our license plate is on there and they do something, it could look like it's us. But we didn't realize that it doesn't matter if the license plate is off, that in this case, she was apparently driving without a license plate for 5 months. I don't know how that works in a pretty busy place. But so because she was driving without a license plate, one of the charges listed on a thing was driving without a license plate and other things. Yeah. Thankfully, after this guy got the information from the police got additional information, which helped us later. But
so what happened was, so we were like, hey, we sold it to this guy on Facebook. So I went back to Facebook, found, thankfully, they still had the post with his name, where he worked, all this information about him. And we said, here's the guy I sold it to. Then the insurance guy said, well, he said, the police officers went through the car and found identifying information on the driver who hit and ran. So we are pretty sure we have her name also, thankfully.
Now on the Facebook thing, Facebook Market, this wouldn't be something to rely on if you sell it through Facebook, because Facebook Marketplace, it didn't really, it said the car was, we said that we marked it as sold. And we sent them the chat from Facebook saying, hey, you still have the car? Yeah, we still have it. If I bring it, come over right now, will you take $500? Yeah, I said, okay, I'm on my way. GPS says 17 minutes. So in that sense, it appears that he's buying the car from us. And then the next guy that asks on Facebook Marketplace, it says, we sold it. So clearly Facebook's information seems to say we sold it. But is that enough evidence? I would be a little concerned if that was all you had.
So then we decided.
Some of the information, though, I used that information to find his Facebook and try to get information there, because it was to our best interest not to have the other people's insurance thinking we were responsible for it.
Yep. So we this was Friday, so we spent all weekend worrying, okay, are we going to be liable for thousands of dollars of damages and all this kind of stuff?
Oh, we also got a bill from the towing company saying,
and then Saturday I got a bill from the towing company
saying, ransom this vehicle, it costs this much and it's going to be $30 a day more until you come get it.
So it's going to be like $600 for a $500 car.
Plus $30 a day. And of course, it was over the weekend, so... and their thing says, if you don't come claim it, we'll sell it and get the money and then send it to collections.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to respond to those things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to do it, but you at least have to respond.
Yes. So we called the towing company, and the towing company thankfully just said, oh, you sold the car? And we were like, yeah. And he's like, okay, that's it. So then Monday...
I was prepared to send them the evidence, but that's all they needed.
So then Monday, the insurance guy called again, and he said, you guys are cleared. Don't worry about it. We've got her. We've got him. So you should be fine.
Well, he didn't say we're cleared. It just sort of sounded like it from what he said, because he knew who they were.
Okay, so we decided to go ahead and go to Montana to look for houses. And we got in the car, went to Montana. We were gone 3.5 days. Came back, and in the mail, we got...
all kinds of legal things. There was something from the insurance company saying that their determination is that she was driving our car and therefore we have to pay. And there was also
so we have to pay for everything: the damages, pain and suffering,
of course,
all the.
I thought we had enough evidence to prove in court that that we sold it, but nevertheless, we were still kind of unhinged about that. And then also there was a police report. With a victim statement saying you've been a victim of a crime. Do you want to explain that?
Well, so we got a separate letter. So one letter was a demand payment from the insurance company that we have to pay for everything. Then a separate letter said from the DA's office said you have to fill out this paperwork because you were a victim in this crime. So in the one sense, we're being demanded to pay for all this, and then in the other letter, we're the victim. So we're like, what is going on?
Well, I called the insurance company back, and the guy said, oh, I'm sorry, I should have told you on Monday when you gave me that information that I was satisfied that you sold it and everything's fine. You can tear up the letter. And I was thinking, I'm not tearing up anything. I'm keeping all the evidence
until he recorded everything.
Until this time is gone. Yeah, I record all the phone calls also.
All right, so here's what you need to do. If you buy and sell a car, you need to do these steps to protect yourself so that you don't end up in the situation that we had.
We're clear now, but if for some reason anything that we looked for couldn't be found, it would be much easier to...
It would be much easier. So here's what should have happened. I should have taken a picture of the title of both him and me signing it. I should have taken a picture of the bill of sale, and I should have had 2 bills of sale, one for him and one for me, both signed. Take a picture of his driver's license also so that you know exactly who you're dealing with. And then as soon as you sell the car, the next day, take the bill of sale to the Department of Motor Vehicles and register it as sold. Now, what happened in our case was when I sold it, it was when everything was shut down for COVID. So when I went to go get in the plates, when I normally just take my old plates in and say transfer them, they mark the old VIN number as sold. They didn't do that this time because they were closed, and 2 months later when they did it, it was all over the phone, and they didn't know to transfer it. So that's what happened. So if I would have transferred the plates, we would have been fine and said that they were sold. But go down to the DMV and make sure you get it registered.
But also, if you do, you should keep if you have a picture of the title and a bill of sale, make sure that the other person signs the bill of sale that you keep also.
Yep.
You would want to keep those things in your important records where you keep your car titles and your birth certificates and all that, and probably for at least a couple of years. Because if somebody happens to, for whatever reason, buy it and store it and then crash it later and they haven't changed it over, you want to keep it long enough that it seems like it's not going to be a problem anymore. But this is one of those situations where if you're not really careful, somebody else's disaster could come back to you.
Yeah. So make sure you get those things taken care of if you ever sell a car. Like Mike said, we probably sold 30 cars doing this, and this is the first time it's ever happened. But with COVID and me not knowing that I was supposed to have 2 bills of sale, I didn't know that. I thought I gave it to them. Now we know. So make sure you do that.
And don't let it scare you on buying used cars. Because the thing is, buying a new car, used car, it doesn't matter what kind of car. If you sell it to somebody else, this could happen. The main thing is you need to make sure when you sell it, you have documentation of who bought it and when. And something that's ideally, like if you get their signature on it, clearly they have to have been there to do that.
Yeah. And get their name and address and a picture of their driver's license so you have full identification. And if they're not willing to give that to you,
I wouldn't sell it at this
don't
point.
sell it.
The other thing is, I would keep those things on file even if you file it with your government agency at the DMV, because it's always possible in the mixture of all their bureaucracy, they might lose track of the record.
Yeah. So I would keep it for several years.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our almost life devastating, exciting thing that happened this week. Please visit us at livingonadime.com.
Bye.